welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Thank goodness there's no match this week. We can actually have a bit of a laugh tonight. Maybe we can relax and enjoy ourselves. Talk about Leicester City, whatever you want to talk about. It's obviously international break. So, yeah, we've got Man City a week on Wednesday. We've got plenty of time to get into that. Do you want to talk about Ruud van Nistelrooy? He's still at the club. I assume we're sticking with him for the rest of the season. The big question maybe tonight is, do you want to stick with him for the Championship or not? I think we need to talk about it. A lot of fans say yes, a lot of fans say no. What do you reckon? Let's know in tonight's show. Would you stick with Ruud in the Championship or not? We can talk about that. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So join us for the next 30 minutes to talk anything to do with Leicester City. The
Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Yes, let me know your views. Thanks as always to our pals at Pucker Pies. And don't forget, we've got a competition. I'll play the video for it. All you have to do is guess what shirt number Anthony Knockaert used to wear when he played for Leicester. That's the competition from Pucker Pies. I'll put it up on screen now. What squad number was Knockers? If you want to answer that, put it in the comments below. You can win a season's worth of Pucker Pies, thanks to the guys there. But let's get on with talking about all things Leicester City. Good evening, Matty. Hope you're well. Are you enjoying the international break? Normally don't enjoy these international breaks. It's quite nice. We've not had a defeat to debate. James, hope you're well. James won last month's competition for a season's worth of Pucker Pies, and he went and fetched them today. So, James, hope you took you into a pie for tea tonight. Patrick, good evening. Ruud will walk before the end of the season. He won't want relegation on his CV. Do you think that, Patrick? Do you think he'll go? He's obviously on a juicy contract. I'm not sure if I was on a juicy contract, I'd walk away. And I've done it once, actually, in a job. So, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe people would do it. Maz, good evening to you. Hope you're well. Jane Pinsent, hope you're well. Can't afford to sack him, I think you mean there, Jane. A little Freudian spelling error, maybe, Jane. I know it's international week, but Jane, no, sack him, yeah. Andy says, good evening. Hope you're well in there. Mary, hope you're well. Liam as well. Get your views and get your comments in. Get Golding in, says Philip to Golding. Now, I'm struck. You're talking about the player we signed from Chelsea for £5 million. Why not, Phil? Where is he? Who spends £5 million on a player and then doesn't put him in there when we're that bad? Andy says can't afford to sack him. I don't know. The difference between staying in the Premier League and getting relegated, I think do we get about 75% parachute payments next season from this year? So there's 25% of 180 million that you get for the Premier League. So 25% of that, it's about 40 million. So staying up would have been worth maybe sacking him in there. Ivan, good evening to you. Time up. Rudkin, get out of our club. Listen, do you want to chat tonight? Some fans have clubbed together and raised some money and are meant to be flying a banner over the King Power Stadium against Liverpool. What do you think about that? Get us your views in, get your comments in. Now, I don't know too much about it, but what I've seen is the banner may have King Power out on it. I'm not sure if that's true. If you know more, let me know. That's what I was reading. It says on it, which I think is not the right message. I get it if people want to fly a banner over the plane over the King Power, that's up to them. But if it says King Power out, that's not for me at all. But let me know your views. Maybe it's not going to say that. Maybe I've got the wrong end of the stick. Let me know what you think in there. Aggie says, Ruud is not the manager to bring us back up. We need somebody like Dyche in. Mark says, good evening. I just don't know, Andy. I mean, I was talking to Reedy about this in the office and on WhatsApp over the weekend. We play the next few games is Man City, Newcastle, Brighton, Liverpool, not necessarily in that order. those 4 games, could we lose all 4 of those games? I genuinely think we could. And then that would mean we're on 17 out of 18 games that we've just lost. How can you stick with a manager who's whatever? It's just crazy. I'm going to put the link in there again. If you want to click on and give us your views, Clibo's clicked in. I'll get you on very, very shortly. Get your comments in. And if you want to click on the link, you can do that in there. Let's get as many comments up first. Jamie says, give the youngsters a chance. Yeah, you would think so, Jake Evans. Monga, meant to be brilliant. The club keeps sharing clips of them scoring for the under-21s. I'm just like, are you trying to wind us up? I think I saw a great goal from Monga the other day on Leicester City's Twitter. And I'm like, just put the guy in. Stop showing us clips of this guy who's doing stuff and then not putting him in there. Ruud will walk, says James. Maybe he will in there. Nick Ball says, if you sack him, does any payoff get included in the PSR? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I assume it does, Nick. I would assume it does. Ruud should never have got the job, says Aggie. Do you agree with Aggie? I don't want to get back into a Cooper debate, even an Enzo debate, even a Ruud debate. I think it's just, you know, it's not worked out for him at all in there. Andy says Rudkin needs to go. Do you agree with that in there? Matty says Championship is properly tough, as we know. Ruud van Nistelrooy wasn't the right man in the Premier League, so why would he be right for next season? Matty, part of my thinking for Ruud is A, I think we should have got rid of him a couple of games ago. B, if he stays till next season and we have a terrible run-in and just don't win anything more, I don't really know that sets us up for next year. Although you would say maybe they start planning for the Championship now. If we go into the Championship and we have a bad start to the season, imagine after 6 games we've got 1 win, 1 defeat, and we're like mid-table. I think 6 games in, I think I'm going to be even saying, get this guy out because he doesn't know what he's doing. I don't think he'd be very long given by fans. That's my thinking process for him. Keith says if it's anything like the last protest, it'll be a Bolsterwood plane with an elastic band propeller. Yeah, at the game, like some fans are trying to do it looks like a 14th minute Rudkin out type of thing. It's not really gained much momentum for me. I've not seen many fans singing it. I don't know if that's just apathy within the stands, but I don't know. Maybe it's because fans have already left by the 14th minute because we're normally a goal down in there. Mary says, the next couple of games, we need to sort our formation out. They look all over the place. It was kind of better with 5 at the back, but just no attack. It's just nothing the last couple of games, was it, Mary? It was really hard to watch. Andy says Ruud was the only person who wanted the job. No, Andy, there would have been others. Like when we appointed Cooper, there would have been others. I just think, I don't know. I don't get the Ruud appointment much. I said again, the great thing with these videos is you can go back and watch. I said, it's an exciting name, but it's a massive gamble. He's got no real pedigree as a manager at all. Frank Lampard was available. Now, I'm not saying Frank Lampard's brilliant, but Frank Lampard's got far more credentials to manage Leicester City and was available than Ruud van Nistelrooy. And Frank Lampard's gone to Coventry and he's doing okay there. But I'm not here saying, oh, he should have gone Frank Lampard or anybody like that. But he did have more credentials than Ruud van Nistelrooy does. Ben says, Sean Dyche or Liam Rosenior in the Championship, please. Here's a question for you. And we might as well talk about this. Clibo, I'm going to add in very, very shortly. And I'm going to ask him this question. But put in the comments here. Are we all agreeing we're in the Championship? Because I'm not quite there. I'm like 0.2% not there. But are you there? Is it all done and dusted for you? Reedy says here, let's not forget Top wants this style of football. Cooper was an anomaly. If you backed Enzo, why not back Ruud? Everyone says stuff in the moment. Listen, I think Reedy, we've had this debate, and my honest answer to Reedy, who's put there in the comments, is Enzo did well for Leicester with a team that was the most expensive ever Championship squad ever. I think not only Enzo, I think a lot of managers would have done quite well with that squad. I'm not saying that they've all got him up, but there was talk of people like Scott Parker, yada, 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 could have. I think a lot of managers could do well with the squad that we had when we went down before. I don't think we've got quite such a good squad. But again, if we retain many of these players or a bulk of the players, they should be pushing for the top 6, top 4, top who knows where of the championship. So therefore, yes, Ruud could do quite well with them in the championship, but so could Sean Dyche, so could lots of other managers. So, you know, I don't know. It's just tricky. I actually think, and I've said this before, I think if we'd have got Enzo stayed at Leicester, I think we'd have done better than we are. But I think we'd have been struggling because the level of the squad is not brilliant in there. Mark says, keep sacking the managers is not the answer. Ruud can go on and get someone that makes hard decisions on behalf of the club in there. Ben says, I'm more excited about your Book of Pies competition than Leicester at the moment. Yeah, I know what you mean. Listen, let's get Clibo in. He's been waiting very, very patiently. Clibo, welcome to the show.
Evening, how are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying a week off Leicester City, mate.
Yeah, me too. But it's made me sort of think.
Much better.
Yeah, well, I don't bother with international football anymore. I'll be honest with you, which is all it's been this week. But I wanted to sort of sit and think and try and be positive in some way because let's be honest, it's all been negative, and I think there is something in the fact that we may have to have Ruud next season. But if we played a 4-2-3-1, I've just been going through the squad. Getting rid of the high earners, I still think we have an extremely competitive squad. So I'd go Skolarczyk in goal. I'd have Wolo on the right. I would have a Coley and Nelson as your centre backs. I'd have Thomas on the left, Skip, and potentially his name's just gone. Is at Cardiff on loan.
Alves.
I would have either McAteer or Mavadidi on the left. I'd have Fatou on the right. I don't think El Kanous is quite ready to be a Premiership player. I think he's got a lot to learn, but potentially going to be an extremely good player. So I don't think we'll get rid of him. And then I just think we need a striker. Now, if all we need to do is buy a striker for the first team, I think we'll do all right, And I would expect nothing less than top 6. Some people maybe think I'm being ambitious there, but I'm sorry that's a quality team. In the Championship, that's a quality team. And what you've got there is you'll have a year's worth of experience and players that you can then buy and keep them around in the squad for a Premiership push. But one of the things I was thinking about today is modern managers. And I mean, obviously, I'm an old git, so I remember the dross and the good times and all the rest of it. But what seems to me to be the difference between modern managers and, say, like your Martin O'Neill's is that they're progressive, yes, but they only work in teams that have got extremely good players because they don't change. And I know a few Chelsea fans, and they're extremely unhappy with Enzo. And they were saying the same thing. They don't change. When it's not going right, their philosophy is this is how I play. And if you want to see this kind of football, hire me, but you've got to back me. Now, that's something that they didn't do with Ruud. So I do have some sympathy for him. And I also believe that if he was at Manchester United, he'd be doing a better job with that team than the current manager. Controversial, but because I think he's that progressive new style manager, he's got the players to play the system he wants to play. What's your thoughts?
Rudy's wank and we all know it. How about that?
Well,
a bit harsh.
There are some caveats to that. I'm not saying that he's not done a good. He has got a crap record. That I'm not denying. But there are things, extenuating circumstances. You know, he didn't have a pre-season. It's his first Premier League job. He is used to managing and playing with great players. He wasn't backed. He's using Cooper's players. And Cooper's, I'm not being funny, but what Cooper brought in was never going to keep us in the Premier League. And again,
16th when he left, Clibo.
Sorry?
16th when we left.
I know, but that again, you've got to look into that a little bit. Yeah, I know. Look who we'd played, and to be honest with you, we should have had more points in that position. I'm not saying that Ruud is the answer. What I'm saying is, I think he's getting a lot more grief than potentially he should do, because our board hired him, and they hired him to play a specific type of football, but he hasn't got the players. Now, that's naivety on his part as well. Again, he's good with the media. He seems like he's enthusiastic and all the rest of it, but Cooper was like that. Now, for me, I was an advocate of getting a manager in like Ruud, and I do think if he's back next season, he would get us back up. I'm not saying he's the long-term answer, but I certainly don't think a manager like Dyche.
Clibo, we seem to have lost Clibo there. I'm just going to take him out. If you can log back in, Clibo, do let us know. Ruud doesn't deserve to keep his job, says Michael in there. No, the board is at fault because they want to play pretty possession football with a pragmatic defensive approach was what was needed. Cooper had a track record of keeping Forest up. He was on track to succeed. Ivan, listen, it's a pointless debate, kind of, but I kind of agree with you, Ivan, that we'll never know because we sacked him after 12 games, so we just won't know. Like we won't know if Enzo was here, would we have stayed up? We just don't know what would have happened. But what we do know is that we're 13 defeats out of 14 with Ruud. We know that 7 games with no goals. You know, it's been a terrible, terrible time under Ruud. Mark says no managers have been backed at Leicester. We didn't sign the 4 or 5 internationals we needed to stay in the Premier League in there. Chief Brody says they sacked Cooper outside the relegation zone. It was bizarre. Yeah, kind of. We had a possible 15-point deduction over us in the summer. What decent players was ever going to come to us? We probably built, Aggie, a decent championship side to come back up. That's probably what we built. I think Koulibaly in the January transfer window was bought for the championship. That's my thinking. I don't know if you agree with that. Ben says Cooper would have at least got some draws. They would have been ugly, Ben, but I agree. I think he would have fought out some points here and there. The last 14 games, we've got 3 points. Now, if my maths is right, 14 times 3 per game is 30, 42 points. 3 points from 42. It is an if, but I'm pretty sure under Steve Cooper, we would have got more than 3 points in there. And I know some fans will come back on and say, yeah, but we're playing a better style of football. I don't agree with that. People were talking about where's the identity under Cooper. What's the identity under Ruud, apart from pass, don't defend well, let goals in, don't create many chances and don't score? That's the new identity. But if people are happy seeing that, then fair enough. I think under Ruud in the Championship, it will be different because our players that we have, the Fatawa, Mavadidi, Akoli, Winks, these players who probably will stick around and bolstered in, James Justin, Koulibaly, Solicic, that's assuming we sell Manson. These players will be some of the best players in the Championship next season. So we will do okay there, I think. Cooper was fired by the fans. I agree, Michael. Why are we complaining about it? I agree. I think it was partly the fans, the uproar. But Michael, I also have to say the players obviously didn't rate him. because that night, the night before, he was sat there in Copenhagen wafting signs around saying, "We love you, Enzo." So clearly there was stuff going on. Stephen says, we were in games under Cooper. We aren't with Ruud. I agree. I've never, and I've said this before, I've watched Leicester since 1976. I think that's like 48 years or something like that now. I've never, ever in 48 years of watching football at Leicester, I've never left games early until this season under Ruud, because there's just no point, in my opinion, when we're 2-0 down, 3-0 down with 20, 30 minutes to go. There's just no point staying, because Ruud doesn't do anything to change the games at all. I hate to say this with you, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I want you to keep this a secret just between us guys. I'm actually debating, do I bother going to the Newcastle match? I think it's 2 weeks tonight on a Monday night. I'm actually debating that. I can't believe what I'm thinking. I can't believe too. I'm saying it because I'm being honest with you. As a Leicester fan, I'm kind of like, and I do support the team like you guys do. So I can't believe I'm admitting that to you, but I am debating it. I will renew my season ticket, of course, but I'm just not rushed to it last week. And I will renew it. But like the Newcastle game and the Liverpool game, I'm kind of like, what's the point? Because they don't put anything in on the pitch, and Ruud's just going to do the same old thing. Is anybody else feeling a bit like that for the Newcastle game and even the Liverpool game? It's just like, that's terrible, because I do, I support the team, you support the team, but that's how I just feel at the moment. It's just a terrible. Mark says it's kind of pointless. Newcastle will have our pants down. Michael says, I can believe it. Many more will think the same. Chief Brody says, being upset and continuing to give them money. They don't care is in there. Barnes to score, says Phil Upton. Yeah, probably. We're the fans anymore against Cooper when he got sacked than we were in the summer. Was bizarre timing. It was a strange one. Ben says, wonder if we'll end up with KDH back on loan next season. I don't think we will, Ben, but you never know. He's clearly not. He was never good enough for Chelsea. If we're all honest, we said it in there. Brian says, wouldn't blame you. Brian, I feel terrible even saying it live. I've come out with it live. Somebody will clip it and go, oh, I don't know. I've never felt like this. Even when we were doing bad in the Championship in the mid-2000s, 2005, 2006, I still enjoyed going and watching us. This is really, since Ruud took over, the first time properly, I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. And I don't mind losing. If we lose matches like we did when we got relegated to League One, and the season's up to that, there was still something going on in the matches. We might lose 3-2 or 2-1 or something, but it kind of felt like there was something going on from Leicester. The last few games, there's just been nothing. And again, I had a debate. It was with Reedy, because Reedy says we played quite well in some of the games, and I went, we really haven't. We kind of did okay against Man City. We kind of did okay against Arsenal until the 80th minute. We kind of did okay away at Liverpool for the first 45 minutes. And then the rest is like Palace at home. It was woeful. Fulham, woeful. Brentford away, woeful. Newcastle, Everton. Go on and on. These games have been woeful. Just, I can't put my finger on it. It's really bad in there. Ben says, I can't believe it's actually worse than the Levine and Holloway days. It kind of is, Ben. I think it is. I feel this is worse than when we did get relegated to League One, because it just feels 9 games to go and it just feels like there's no chance. We've all given up. If you guys, I've still got 0.2% of the I think we can do it, but I know a lot of you guys have given up completely. Paul says this season has sucked all the enthusiasm out of me attending. Used to look forward to every game in there. Ben says the one time you won't go will probably score. Ben, I've got to be honest, the Man United game, I was like, Sunday night, 7 o'clock, just the end of the weekend. Sunday nights is about just putting your slippers on and like watching Death in Paradise or something rubbish on telly. Heartbeat it used to be, you know, something really rubbish, something Antiques Roadshow. You kind of like just nodding off asleep. But I thought, no, I'm going to go. It's Man United. What the heck? Let's go. Back the lads. Get down there. And honestly, it was just I don't know, 70 minutes, and it's like, let's go. Let's just go. I'm so fed up of seeing the ball towards backwards, side to side, forwards, backwards, side to side. I get it. We had it under Puel, but we were finishing in the top 10. We had it under Rodgers, and we were finishing, you know, top 5. It was like, and we got an FA Cup, and then like we had it. Obviously, we got relegated. It wasn't brilliant in my books last season in the Championship, but we were winning, so it's like, right, we'll take it. And then this season, it's like not been great at all, as we all know. I know I'm preaching to the converted. I would like to do the watch-alongs, but it'd be so depressing. I know, Michael. You'd just be doing the watch-alongs like this, like, oh my God. Even Michael, I don't know anybody more enthusiastic than Michael. And I can just imagine, Michael, your face at the moment is just like, it'd be hard trying to get excited about it, honestly. Just, Michael, if you'd done the watch-alongs, the last 7 games, you'd have just not had anything to cheer about. Chris says, I'd feel better about going to the games if we saw some of the future with the kids playing. Feel we'd all get behind that. I agree with you in there. Michael says, what's happened to American and Canadian fans that used to do the show? That's Michael, Tacoma Fox and that. Yeah, unfortunately, they've been struggling this year to do it. Earlier today, I'm going to bring you a little bit of a treat. I caught up with John Sinclair, Sinky, ex-Radio Leicester. And here's just, it's a couple of minutes long, but I caught up with Sinky. Let's get his views before the end of the show. So here's John Sinclair chatting with me earlier on today.
So, welcome, Sinky. It's been a little while, but I mean, I've seen you at some of the matches.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a tough watch, hasn't it, recently?
Very difficult, isn't it? Every time you go, you're hoping a goal will go in, because they've not been going in. And it's, you know, changed the system, obviously, with the 3 at the back. That doesn't seem to have worked either. And everybody's kind of accepted that it's going to be the Championship next season. I can't see how it's going to go any other way. And is the manager doing the right things? There's questions about that. And then you're kind of trying to decide who might stay and who might go. And everybody's got different ideas on that. But it's hard. It's a hard watch at the moment. And you kind of feel sorry. I can get where fans are coming from. A lot of them are talking about, will they go next year? My season ticket will renew. Almost looking forward to the Championship to see if we can win a few games and score some goals, but it's a difficult one.
Well, John, let's start there very quickly. Have you given up on the Premier League? Has it gone? I mean, I've still just got that tiny Leicester hope that something miraculous happens.
I'd love to feel like that, but I think there's Wolves are too far ahead.
I'm probably too good.
And you look at the games coming up, you know, you kind of your Liverpool's and your Newcastle's, Man City's, and you're thinking, well, where are the points going to come from? And they're not going to come. So I think most people are realistic to say, okay, at least when we get the Championship, we might do better with a different sort of squad.
So that's the first question. We're done from your point of view.
Yes.
I think I'm 99.8%. I've still got 0.2%. But here's the next big question. Do you stick with Ruud in the Championship?
Well, personally, I wouldn't. I think the possibility, there's an issue there with how much it will cost for him to go, because I don't know what the finances are like. Obviously, the finances are key in the summer for changes in the squad as well, because some may leave, Hermansons and co. But I think a lot of us would probably say a change might do us good.
So you would not keep Ruud in the Championship?
No.
But you keep him for the rest of this season?
Well, I don't see the point in not doing that now, because I don't think it's going to make any difference.
Yeah, well, I mean, and this is part of the big topic. We ran a poll on X last week, and I think it was 81% of fans said they didn't want Ruud in the Championship. But I get it. I personally, I'd have probably made a change a couple of games ago and seeing if we could just do it. But like you, I think the season's probably over, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because you look back to Steve Cooper and he was doing a half decent job, some might say. And when Van Nistelrooy came in, it started very well, but it's just got worse and worse, and it's not going to get any better, is it?
I mean, well, like you say, we've got Man City, we've got Newcastle, we've got Brighton, we've got Liverpool. The reality is that could be another 4 defeats, literally, and that would make us, I think, 17 out of 18 defeats. John, you've watched Leicester a long time, I've watched Leicester a long time. I can't remember it being anything like this.
No, I can't either. But like you say, at the moment, I just want to go to a game and see us score a goal. Never mind about winning a game. I think it's just about putting the ball in the back of the net. But there isn't any hope for us, is there? And I'm hoping that we don't lose all the games remaining. Of course, I don't want that to happen. But you look at each game in turn and you go, next game's Man City. Well, although they're not the greatest at the moment, but who knows? Things might turn around, but let's accept the fact that we ain't going to stay up.
Well, the next 2 home games are Newcastle, the League Cup winners, then Liverpool, the champions-elect. I mean, I can't believe I'm going to ask you this question now. Not are we going to win, are we going to draw? Are we even going to score in those next 2 home matches?
Well, I'm hoping we do, because I'm felt it was not scoring, but yeah, Newcastle, I mean, fair play to them. It was great that they won the cup, wasn't it? And Liverpool are winning the title in the league. Are we going to score against them? I'd like to say yes, but I'm not kind of 100% sure that that's the right answer.
That's where we've got to. So thanks, Sinky, for joining us. Keep in touch with everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep the faith, I'd
Keep
say.
the
Faith.
Trying to keep the faith. Yes.
Oh my God, I'm just realising that I actually look quite like John Sinclair. It's like looking in the mirror a little bit. Anyway, that was Sinky. Great to get his views on. He's given up on this season. He says keep Ruud till the end of the season, but then let him go at the end. Don't keep him for the championship. It's an interesting one in there. We've always been history makers, but 7 consecutive home games not to score is embarrassing. Mark, it could be 8 against Newcastle. It could be 9 against Liverpool. Just give us a goal. That's all we're asking for. Give us a goal and let us. It's been so long since we've actually stood up and cheered anything at the King Power Stadium, let alone a win or a draw. It's just been nothing. Michael says get rid of him now. Chief Brody says it requires the defenders to give everything, though, and they don't in there. No chance against Newcastle, says Anne. It's been so tough. Now, to cheer you up, don't forget, you can enter it now by putting your comments in now. I'm going to put it on there. But if you want to win a season's worth of Pucker Pies, all you have to do is this.
So welcome to this month's competition, thanks to our pals at Pucker Pies. You can win a season's worth of pies. Now, all you have to do is answer this very, very simple question. What we want to know is, and it's a quiz question this week, all you have to do is answer what squad shirt number was Anthony Knockaert when he played for Leicester City. Now, we could do with a bit of Anthony Knockaert spirit this season, but we don't seem to have it. Remember that? Don't sell Knockaert, there'll be a riot. There's no riots this season apart from we can't score a goal. But if you want to win a season's worth of Pucker Pies like these here, all you have to do is answer that question. What squad number shirt did Anthony Knockaert wear for Leicester City? Thanks again to the guys at Pucker, and good luck, everybody.
You see, Anthony Knockaert cared, didn't he? He gave a damn. We were in the championship, but he cared when he missed that penalty. He cared when he scored away at Forest. That's what we want to see. And I just haven't seen any of that this year from anybody, any of that passion. I'd love to have somebody like Anthony Knockaert in the squad at the moment and be giving us some of that passion. And like many, many fans have said, if we saw that passion, if we saw that commitment, genuinely don't care if we lose every week, because you go, well, they're trying their best and they care. I don't expect to see many tears or many upset if and when, I'd still say if we get relegated, probably when we get relegated. At some point, I've got to get it into my thick skull that even though there's 9 games to go, we have got relegated. Chief says, no, they don't care. They're getting huge wages to be garbage, especially our defenders in there. Lots of you have had a guess on the Anthony Knockaert shirt. I can see you in there. I'm not going to put any on screen, but well done. Well done to some of you. You're in the shout. You know who you are. Ben saying, come and bring the goods down to Gloucester. We'll get them down there somehow. We'll get them down there somehow. I say James Hill went and fetched his today from Pucker Pies is in Sighton, Ben, so maybe you'll have to come and fetch them. But let us know. Don't forget, thanks to them, all you have to do is guess what squad number shirt was Anthony Knockaert when he played for us at Leicester. Balti Pie there, that's the favourite. Thanks to the guys at Pucker for that. Listen, we've got another Fan Zone show next Monday before we've even got a game. So we can just enjoy this week. It's going to be a good week. No defeats for Leicester. It's been a while since we've said that. Don't forget the lads will be live. Fox's chat on Thursday night, and Jamie live from the Fox's Arms in Alcudia will be live on Sunday morning. And the bar is getting ready to be open. So if anybody's going out to Alcudia, make sure you pop down and see Jamie very, very soon. Listen, I can't do this show without you guys. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for all your views. Always a pleasure having a chat with you in there. Lots of things to talk about. Thanks for Sinky coming on. And don't forget, enter that pie competition. All you have to do is say, what squad number shirt did Anthony Knockaert wear? Where is Knockaert now? Anybody got his phone number? Can you come back and play for Leicester? I'll see you next week.
Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.